Hello and welcome to episode 15 of the Bittersweet Uncomfyness podcast. It's been 15 weeks, 15 beautiful weeks, and this journey has been an incredible one. And I believe that the reason for that is because I found something I'm very passionate about, something I truly desire. And if you have something that you really, really want to do and you're really passionate about it, you will enjoy the path so much and you will work so hard to make it happen or to just do it, to enjoy the journey. And once you actually figure out what you want and you start working towards it, you have no idea how incredibly easy doors start opening up for you. One door opens to your right, one opens to your left, and you just see new opportunities, new ways, and new levels that you can go with. And this is why everyone who became successful says that by following their passion, by doing something they truly believed in, they never felt like they had to work. And they excelled at it because it was the right path. It was the path that was meant to be taken by them. And in this episode, I'm sharing this because this is the last episode for the first chapter of the Bittersweet Uncomfyness podcast. We can call it a chapter, we can call it a season, but this is now the stop of this level, and I want to take Bittersweet Uncomfyness to a new level, to elevate it to something new for everyone to enjoy, and especially myself. So before we start, as usual, I'm Joe, and I hope you're not comfortable. But if you are, then let's get uncomfortable together. Hi. So as I said in the introduction, this is the time for a new beginning. I'm not going to call it an ending because it's merely something new starting, a new beginning for me, for this podcast, and for everyone who listens. It's going to be an amazing journey, but what I don't want to do is look into the future and talk about what's going to happen in the future. In fact, I want to reflect on the present and how the present became the way it is now by going through this journey. So in April, I decided to start this podcast. I've been thinking about it for way longer. But in April, I finally took the decision to actually follow what I want to do. And what I can share from this experience is all the insecurities, all the lack of confidence that I had before, they all just vanished. And it happened as if it was an overnight change. Something just shifted within me because I felt like my purpose is being served. So if you have something you really, really want to do, but you have voices in your head telling you not to start because of this and that, because of a fear that people will talk about you, or people will laugh at you, or you will not feel adequate, or you will feel like an imposter. Let all this go and just do the first step, whatever that step is, whether it's buying a microphone. Just if you want to do a podcast, buy a microphone. If you want to record music, buy a keyboard. Take the first step. And don't think about the consequences later. Think about the first step that you want to take today. Because that's the only step that matters right now. When I started this podcast, I saw myself and I heard myself always thinking about the future of it. But then again, it doesn't actually help. You can plan the future, but let the plan take its course. And focus on the step that you should actually start taking right now. For me, it was buying a microphone. I bought a very, very cheap microphone. That was my first step. But it actually put me on the right path. And then when I decided to actually follow through with it, I bought myself this microphone. And I realized that it's actually time to start. And I let all these insecurities, because I was really afraid of what my friends would think about this podcast. I'm truly going to be completely honest in this episode. I was terrified. I did not want to read comments. I did not want to expect what people would think, because I had this insecurity that people are bullies and I will be bullied and so on and so forth. And this held me back for way too long from living my true desire, my true purpose. And once I let that go, it didn't happen by just saying, no, I will not listen to it or this will not happen. What I did was I focused on what I want to do instead of what consequences this would have. So it was record the first episode. I recorded the first episode, I think 3 or 4 times individually. Like one time in November, one time in February, in March, and then April was the last time I recorded the first episode and I actually published it. But every time I took the step to actually record the episode, my fear came back. And I heard the episode again and I thought to myself, no, I cannot release this because what will people think? It's not good content or whatever or whatnot. The same thing with social media. I've never thought about posting a lot on social media because I felt like it's too exposing. It's too scary out there. And I'm sharing this truly just to make you understand that the fear you have is a fear that you create in your own mind. It's something that you are expecting, but it also might never happen. And if it did happen, it will happen and it will not bother you as much because you know that you are doing what you want to do and you don't give a shit about what other people will think. Because at the end of it, when I post something, when I upload an episode or whatever, the last thing I do is think about what other people will think. The first thing I think about is, finally, this new episode is out now. Or I posted this. I let go of that fear. And my expectation never came true. The people that I love and that I care about and whose opinion matters to me actually are supporting me. At first, this terrifying feeling that I had was to lose respect from people around me, but I actually gained respect for myself through it. So in the last episode, I talked about self-respect, and I feel like this journey of the podcast, the way the episodes went, really describe how I've been feeling throughout it as well. I started with mindset. It was the most important thing to start with. You need to have the right mindset before you start. And the right mindset is the go mindset. The go get it now. The only time you have to start is right now. If you say I'll start tomorrow, then maybe you'll never start. Start now, even if it's just 5 minutes of ordering a new microphone or getting that instrument that you want to play. Whatever it is, take 5 minutes today and start. Because every time I thought about starting this podcast and I took a small step, it got me closer to the goal. But every time I said, no, I'll do it tomorrow, it didn't help me at all. Zero. So first of all, I talked about mindset. And then I talked about pride and how it can really hurt us. But at the same time, it's really important to be proud of ourselves. So by doing this podcast, I actually felt prouder of myself than I've ever been before. Because I let go of so many unnecessary insecurities, and so can you every day. You choose what you want to do and you choose whether you want to make yourself proud or not. So every episode in this podcast has led me to where I am today and led me to understand that I don't want to do this podcast this way. I have a different plan in mind and I want to make it a different experience for myself, but also for everyone who listens and watches this podcast, because the value of this podcast is actually for you to reflect in your own life how everything can apply to you. This is what I do when I listen to podcasts. I listen to their stories, but I always try to apply it to myself. And this is a key for you to understand more by listening to podcasts. When you listen to just, listen and have fun, it's also fun and it's also completely fine. But you can actually learn so much about yourself by listening to other people talking about their experiences. Because you change your perspective, you change your focus. You start trying to actively take learnings out of everything you do. You start to read more or whatever. So find the passion, find the thing you want to pursue and don't let go. Because you want to do it for a reason. But first of all, the first thing that matters is, why do you want to do this? If it's to attain rich and fame and materialistic things, then I truly think you should reconsider, because it might be that you do it for a year, 2, 3, 5, 10, and you don't see the results you actually did it for. So if your why does not fit to your path, and if your why is not solid enough, it's very probable that you will give up. It's very possible that you will not see the results quickly, and you will have this fear creep in, and you will stop whatever you want to do. So when you want to start something, your why has to be stronger than anything else, than any circumstance, than any consequence that can happen. Because with that, you can defeat everything. When your why is solid and you know that this is your purpose and you want to do it for the right reasons, nothing can stop you. Nothing and no one and no one's opinion will matter. The only one which will matter is yours. Whether you're happy doing it, whether you feel fulfilled while doing it. And by just changing your focus and asking yourself, why do I want to do this? You unlock so many different insecurities as well. So I recommend just writing them down. Write down the true reason of why you want to do something. For me, this podcast, the main reason was to help one person improve anything in their life. Be 1% happier in their life. And this is a why that can always keep me strong, because I know that someone out there is listening to this and knowing or changing something in their lives. And it's fulfilling my actual why. I did not do it to become famous. I did not do it to become rich. If that's meant to happen, it will happen. But the main goal was a different one. It was, first of all, for me to express my thoughts and emotions in a way that I believed was healthy for me. I needed this just as much as everyone who listens to it and needs it. Because it opened the doors for me. Because it made me get my confidence back. Get my love for myself back. And my self-respect grew. And you will respect yourself way more if you listen to the last episode, when you start doing things that make you happy and proud of yourself. And this is making me happy and proud of myself. So my self-respect is getting to a level where I know that nothing will ever stop me from pursuing this. Even the hate, even the bad comments or whatever. This will never stop me. So find the passion, pursue it, and stop looking back. Just look forward. Because if you drive a car and you keep looking back like this, you're definitely going to crash. At one point you will crash and you will give up driving. But if you drive and you're focused on only what's in front of you right now, you don't even focus on what's going to come in a couple of kilometers or in the next state I cross. The only thing you think about while you're driving is right now in front of your car. Is there an obstacle here that I can see, not kilometers away? And those are the only things you should focus on. Once you start the car and you put your foot on the throttle, just focus. Put your entire being into it and fulfill your purpose, because you didn't think about it for nothing. And make sure that you have the correct why. So to conclude this episode, it's a short one. I just want to assure you that the Bittersweet Uncomfyness podcast will restart very, very soon. It will be a completely different format. It's going to be very, very exciting. I am unbelievably thrilled to actually take this step, because just thinking about it is giving me the chills. It's going to be an incredible journey, I think, not only for me, but for everyone who's going to be part of the podcast, who's going to be listening to the podcast. And we're going to enjoy it a lot. So for now, I hope you get yourself as uncomfortable as you can over the next period of time until Bittersweet Uncomfyness Season 2 starts. I'm very excited to see you all again. And as usual, if you want to hit me up, you can find me on Instagram or TikTok. The links are in the description. I love you all. Take care. And I will be with you very, very, very soon.